What's up, everyone? Gerald here with the Novice Angler. I know, it's been about a week and a half now since I did my last fishing video, but it's been a week and a half of me getting skunked. For example, like yesterday, I spent 3.5 hours. It was one of our warmest days. It was in 50s, and I still got skunked. I was using everything: worms, minnows, lures, nothing. Not even bluegills. Anyway, guys, the last knife video that I did, we were talking about some of my more lighter, slimmer, office friendly knives that I use. This time around, I want to show you some of the work knives. Uh, these are the knives that I used over time in the past years, and what I consider as a good work knife. Personally, I want something that's durable, that's sturdy, something that holds an edge, and it doesn't fail under pressure. Whether you're in construction, landscaping, if you're an electrician, or in my case, I was working at the warehouse, you want a good quality knife. A knife is an investment, and it's one of the more important tools that you can have on you. And I'm not saying to go out there and spend a lot of money, spending up to a couple $100 or more for a good quality knife. Unless you're like some of my friends who's in the law enforcement or in military, where they're carrying around a $400 Strider knife. Yeah, but for most parts, it's just a knife that you can use at work, and within that price range, anywhere between about 25 all the way up to maybe 100. I know some of the knives that I'm about to show you retails for a lot more, but I didn't pay anywhere close to that price. And I know for many of you, you consider a knife as a knife, like something like this. Your cheap gas station, or in my case, flea market knives. And no, this one is not one of mine. This one actually belongs to my wife's brother, who passed away in 2019. But this is what most people think of. A knife is just a knife. Unfortunately, the main thing about using one of these cheap knives is that you can use it only a few times before it gets dull. I've seen the edge rolling over, or in my case, the blade just snapped off when I was trying to use it. And the funny thing about that statement is that for many years I was in the knife business, and this was the type of knives that I was selling. Anyway, guys, let's get started. By the way, guys, Christmas is just right around that corner, and if you're still looking for something that's unique, that's original, we have a whole entire line of t-shirts that's all designed by yours truly and my wife. Anything from fishing t-shirts, patriotic t-shirts, funny t-shirts. And right now as it is, we are running a special from now until Christmas Eve, where you get 10% off on your entire purchase if you use the code right down below. Go and check it out, guys. And thank you very much for all your support. Anyway, folks, this is just some of the work knives that I personally used over the years. And we'll just start off with something that's probably the least expensive, all the way up to my most expensive one. Least expensive is this one. This is the Gerber Industrial Edge. I've used this for well over about 2+ years without having any issues whatsoever. Very sturdy, durable. The nice thing about it, it is a liner lock. Plus, unlike your Gerber EAB, or exchange a blade, this one you can easily pull down on the tab to replace your blades. This is what I used when I was working at the warehouse. I use this for everything from breaking down boxes, cutting plastic straps, and yeah, I like this quite a bit better than your Gerber EAB for the fact that the Gerber EAB is a little bit smaller, but it's also more of a pain to change out the blades because you actually have to unscrew it. Moving on, we have this itty bitty little utility knife right here. This one is the Cold Steel Mini Tough Light, made from AUS 8 steel. Steel that's comparable to your standard HCR 13 MOV steel now. Softer steel, budget steel, but I do admit it is a very sturdy and durable knife. I've used this many times in the past to break down boxes, cut rope, and everything. And the nice thing about it, you have your full-size finger choil, so you can grip on it. You can just bear down on it if you want to. You have your jimping on top. You have your serrated blade. I know many people don't like serrations or having a serrated blade for the fact that it is a pain to sharpen. But I can tell you that all these years that I have this and use it, I have not once sharpened it. So let's just give it a test here with your standard paper cut. As you can see, like butter, razor sharp. And this one, average probably anywhere between about $20, $25, even $30 depending on where you get it. But it is a good functioning utility knife. Has that triad lock, which supposedly can handle up to 500 pounds of pressure, which I don't know why you will put that kind of pressure on a folding knife anyway. Next is this one. This one is probably one of my very first Spyderco knives that I ever have. This is the Spyderco Centofante. Has your Japanese VG10 on it. Good mid-grade steel. And this is one of the few times when Spyderco still makes their knives from Japan. I carried this knife for many years. In fact, the first time I bought it, I believe it was around 2010 or 11 is when it came out. But very good functioning work knife. I took this everywhere, camping, fishing. When I was working on a roof, I used this knife. Yeah, and it's very lightweight too. Of course, at the time when that knife came out, it was about $140. I paid roughly about $65 on eBay on it. Again, you don't need to spend a lot. As long as you're willing to take the time and have a little patience, you can find a lot of stuff on eBay at a very good price. The next one, another one of my personal favorite. I've used this often. This is the Boker Patriot. This is one of the few Boker knives that's actually made in the US. This one has 154 cm. It's a lockback. Some people don't like lockbacks. Personally, with me, a lockback gives you a much better lockup than your liner lock or frame lock. Very light, probably weighs only about 3 ounces. Total length on it is maybe about 7 inches. Got a slight jimping right here on your thumb ramp. Yeah, and it's also another knife that I use quite a bit, but I haven't actually touched up the edge. See how this one cuts. There we go, folks. Like butter. And the next knife right here, this is your Buck Vantage Pro. Made in the US. And unlike your typical Buck Vantage, this one actually have your S30V steel on it. Good mid-grade steel. Holds an edge, very reliable, and nice thing about this knife, this is a very beefy knife. And if one thing for sure, you want a knife that doesn't fail under pressure. This knife, you can use it whether you're working in constructions, landscaping, if you're an electrician, or if you want to take it with you camping. In fact, currently, this is the knife that I gave to my wife for her survival kit. This is the Buck Hornady. This is the limited edition one. And at the time, this retails between 90 to about 120. I picked it up for about $70. And finally, I have probably your most expensive one that's shown here. This one is your Spyderco Paramilitary 3. This one is made with CTS BD1N. Oh, CTS BD1N? Fancy way of saying carpenter steel. Yeah. But one thing for sure, this knife, I use it for many years. This is the newer version that they came out with a few years ago, but I took it everywhere. I use it for everything, and it still have a razor edge on it. These screws are an aftermarket screws. They're titanium screws that I put in. But an extremely lightweight knife. It is a workhorse. And this one, it actually comes with your compression lock. It's similar to your liner lock, except it's in reverse. Probably one of my favorite knives that I use. And this one actually retails for about 120 to about 150. I paid $75 for this. But if you want a good quality knife, there it is, folks. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you get some ideas on what kind of work knives to have. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Leave your comments down below. And consider subscribing, folks. Anyways, you guys take care. Talk to you later.